So I put away my ironing stuff. I finished mixing up paint. Like I said, you might not need to mix the additive in with yours. I have my shirt and my color in front of me. I'm going to move my camera. I'm going to show you the next step. Okay, so inside my shirt, I have placed an old box. It's a food box, okay? Because I need to have it between the layers of my shirt. Otherwise, the paint will seep through. So I just found an old cardboard box in my recycling bin and went, that will work, okay? A box works really well. It also makes it have a harder surface. I covered my table with it's a shower curtain that I use to cover my table for when it needs to be able to be messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paint and I'm going to start painting my shirt. All right, I want to spread the paint out. I do not want a thick, gloppy application, okay? I want it thin. I want it spread out, okay? If I pile it on there all gloppy, it's going to dry that way, and I might also force some of the paint underneath my stencil, okay? So I don't want that to happen. If this is something that you're like, man, that would be really fun, I'm going to quarantine, social distancing is over, I'm going to get together with my friends and we're going to buy shirts, and we're going to get some freezer paper, and we're going to do this, okay? And you go to the craft store and you're getting fabric paint, all that, okay? They sell, it's a piece of cardboard, and it looks like a shirt, all stretched out. Those are really nice, okay, if you're going to be doing a lot of this, okay? Because it holds the shirt fabric nice and tight. It keeps the layers separate. You do have to wait for the paint to dry before you take that out. So it's not like okay, I spent 5 minutes painting, now I'm going to take it off and you get to spend 5 minutes painting type of thing. But if it's something that you're like, man, I'm going to do a couple of those, several of them, I don't know how much they cost. I've never really looked into it. That might be something that you might want to invest in a little bit, okay? It's really just a piece of cardboard that looks like a shirt, and it stretches the shirt and pulls it out nice and tight, and then it allows you to be able to paint without stuff moving. And yeah, that's what the purpose of that is. You can reuse it. You just have to wait for the paint to dry. All right? Or if you have a bigger piece of cardboard, my pieces of cardboard that were clean and not gross for just the smaller ones. If you have a bigger one that you can stretch your shirt out over, that's even better. But I'm just going to believe that this will work just fine, okay? So, I'm spreading the paint out nice and thin. My shirt is blue, and this is a metallic blue color. I probably could have just used 1 tablespoon of paint, but I didn't know, and I didn't want to not have enough, because not having enough is bad. Alright, so I'm just spreading out the paint. So that way it does not dry all gloppy. I also am looking to make sure that I have an even layer, that I don't have one spot that's really, really thick and another spot that's not. By spreading it out nice and thin, I'm also taking out some of those brush strokes so it doesn't look like it's painted so much. You can buy kits from craft stores for home screen printing, and they will have different tools. They'll have like a squeegee. They sell a different film and like this window frame, or not, like picture frame or window frame, and then you have a squeegee and you drag it across, and you it puts on a very nice thin even layer. You have to follow the directions, but whatever those might be, but that works too. I was trying to find things that I could use with things that I had at home. The only thing I hadn't really thought about was the acrylic paint, not necessarily being the best choice because it would make the t-shirt feel weird and not, the paint wouldn't want to stretch with the shirt. So I got some medium to add to it instead of spending the extra money on just fabric paint. But if you don't already have acrylic, it would probably be more cost effective for you to buy fabric paint. Alright, so now my son and I are going to paint his shirt, and we have to let it dry.
2 days.
I don't know that we need to let it dry for 2 days, as he
Tomorrow.
said, but we will have to let it dry
For 2 years.
and not for 2 years. Oh my goodness.
Or 3 years. Or 4 years.
Okay, he's being really helpful and adding on to the length of our dry time here.
It's good.
I cannot show you the next step until this is completely dry, so I will be back probably tomorrow, and I will show you the next steps. I'm gonna make sure that I've got it all nice and covered the way that I want it to, and then I'll paint my son's. Now, if you bought the additive like I have and you have extra paint like I do, you can put it in an airtight container and you could use it again later. Okay, so I'm back. It has been overnight since I have finished the shirts. Okay, according to my fabric medium, you will have to look on your fabric paint to see if this is necessary or not. You'll have to follow those directions. But the directions on mine say allow to dry completely and then heat set as follows. Iron for 3 to 5 minutes on medium heat or heat press. The heat press is kind of like what they use in like a dry cleaning service. It's a big thing, and it's a giant press that presses the clothes, and you can control the temperature. My guess is you don't have access to that, so if anything, you're going to have an iron if it asks for you to heat set it. It says that you can also put it in the clothes dryer for 30 to 40 minutes on high heat. I don't know, I've always heat set things when I've painted on them, so I'm a little more comfortable with the heat setting idea than just throwing it in my dryer for 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, so I have my sons here, okay, and I'm going to first remove the piece of cardboard that I stuck inside of it, so that way the paint would not get on the other side of his shirt, which you can see there's paint on this, so you know, hey, it worked. All right. Now, as I said, you know, you needed to be careful when they when you put the stencils on, especially if you let them sit around and you didn't do it right away. Look how easily this peels off. Okay, it just comes right off fairly easily. Okay, if you have small areas like his mouth, you need to pull a little bit more carefully, but it comes right off. Okay, I don't honestly know if this would stick again and if you could use it or not. You could certainly try. I mean, it wouldn't hurt anything. You could try seeing if it would iron on. Looking at the back of it, it does not appear nearly as shiny as it was originally, so I don't know if it would work a second time or not. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat press. Okay, it said a medium heat, so I have set my iron on medium heat, and it says 3 to 5 minutes. I'm not going to record myself for 3 to 5 minutes ironing. I'm going to show you how to do it, and then I'll show you the end results. I really don't think that once I show you how to do it that you need to watch me do it for 3 to 5 minutes. It's really not anything life changing. So what I like to do when I heat set something is I like to take a towel of some sorts. I usually just grab a clean kitchen towel. You could also use an old pillowcase or an old sheet. This is one of my newer ones that doesn't already have gunk on it. I'm going to get a different one that has, you know, that's a little older, isn't quite as new. Here, maybe a little stained just in case the color comes off, so we'll go with one of the older ones that has a stain on it already. And then cover it. This just protects your iron from getting dirty. And yeah, that little extra bit is a nice protection if you've ever tried to clean an iron from goo. Okay, it's not so much fun. Alright, so I'm going to move my camera, or move the camera, so you can see. So right here is my surface. Alright, and I've got my iron set on medium, and now I'm just going to simply iron and heat set the paint. The heat set allows the paint to cure into the fabric so it doesn't come off. If your fabric ink, your paint, does not say that you need to heat set it, then don't. But otherwise, basically, for the next 3 to 5 minutes, I'm just going to be going like this. In my experience, it doesn't necessarily change the color or the look of it. It just helps the paint adhere to the fabric better. Alright, so for the next 3 to 5 minutes, this is basically what I will be doing. Okay, I will be slowly going back and forth, ironing the painting that I did using the stencil. Alright, so as you can see, I don't really think I need to show you this for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, I'm not moving super fast. Because it's not the stencil on there trying to get it to stick, I don't need to lift up and put down, lift up and put down, because I'm not going to pull off or potentially iron that stencil on weird, okay? So, heat set if your paint says to heat set. So I hope that this is maybe an activity that maybe you can't do right now because you have to go and get some supplies. Maybe this will be an activity that, you know, you can try later on. It was just something fun that I had always wanted to do with my son, so I'm taking this opportunity where we have extra time to be able to do that. So I hope maybe you guys give it a try. It's not super hard, and maybe you can make yourself a shirt or some other decorative thing around the house using a freezer paper stencil and some paint.